Yay. All right, let's fix this, man. This can't have bad video. Unplug. Yay. All right, let's fix this, man. There you go. So how you been?
Pretty good. I laid a scooter down today, actually.
What did you do?
Laid a motorcycle down.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't know you were not supposed. I don't think you're supposed to like use front brake, I guess. I just like used the front brake and then it just, I guess the wheel like skid or something. I didn't hit anybody or anything.
Yeah.
I just laid right.
No, you're supposed to use it. I think that the issue, at least that I had when I was learning, is that I panic grabbed. And then you can lock that up pretty easy. And so what
Okay.
I had to kind of teach myself is to use both and not panic grab.
Okay.
Especially like in a turn is where that gets really scary. For me, I'm right-handed, so turning left is unnatural on a motorcycle when I first started, and I would panic grab that brake or panic stomp on that rear brake and almost lay my bikes down. So yeah, but
So
the
you're supposed to
primary
use both, not just one?
yeah, because well, the primary stopping power in a motorcycle is the front brake. But if you, but it's again, it's the primary stopping power. There's 80% more brake in the front than there is in the rear. The rear will help you, but there's more stopping power because all of your weight when you go leans on that front tire. Um, and when you're riding,
Okay.
you've seen like the death wobbles. So what causes that is you shift your weight too far into the
Yeah.
back and you're taking weight off of the front tire. So that's where that wobble comes in. Well, the same applies with the brake. If you panic brake, you're going to slam all of that power onto the front of your motorcycle, and that brake is going to get even more weight to that tire, and then your ass end will flip out around you, and then you'll lay your bike down. So yeah, but you're supposed to use that front brake. I got into real because I ride around where there's a lot of old people, and old people will just Jesus take the wheel. They don't look. They'll just turn in front of you, all that stuff. So you got to learn that panicking stuff. But I ride so defensively that I don't necessarily have um, that worry anymore. When I was first learning how to ride, man, I was borderline reckless. I don't know. I didn't kill myself.
Yeah. I'm going to be so much more careful now.
Yeah.
Because, know,
Well, look at it
because
this way.
it was only like probably maybe 10 or 15.
Yeah, they say that everyone will lay down their bike at some point. I mean, if that's true, I've taken care of mine because I used to ride dirt bikes, and I dropped one on top of me and my buddy. I had not laid down, knock on wood, any of my street bikes. That's what I get for knocking. I have not laid down any of my street bikes, but I almost have. And I was riding in the wind. I don't know what kind of bike you have, but I was riding sport bikes and all the fairings and everything like that, right? So when the wind catches it, it takes that thing over. That's the only time I've almost lost those. But the point of that story is they say that everyone lays them down at least once. So now you've got it knocked out.
Yeah.
What kind of bike are you riding?
It's just a little scooter out here in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stop and go traffic.
Those guys are all kamikaze riders too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've never ridden a motorcycle in America or know anywhere else, but cars will, you got to share the lane with another car. So it'll just be you on your little bike or scooter or whatever, and then there will be a car or a big truck like passing you in your lane.
Yeah.
And that's not even the problem. But there's so many bikes and stuff out here. I think people are really cautious and they like look for people and they know all around them is somebody on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
My mistake was I just didn't know that just using the brakes can cause it to crash. Like you don't even have to hit anything.
Yeah. Well, I think the center of gravity on a scooter is probably more towards the back. I guess depending on the scooter you're riding, but still, even then, yeah, all the stopping power is in the front brakes. And you're more of a man than I would, because even if I wanted to ride it in Thailand, I probably wouldn't do it. I'm just watching the videos over there, like that
Yeah.
in India. You see all those India
Yeah.
videos and people riding around. And where's the other one? Singapore and
Yeah.
China. Those guys, crazy ass scooter riders, and it's like they watched too much Fast and the Furious and then applied it to their scooters.
They start. I mean, they drive babies around in those scooters all the time. That's just like their main mode of transportation. So,
Right.
I mean, that's what they're driving from the very beginning is those
Yeah.
little bikes. Just
Okay.
like just like walking.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Jeremy, he said he laid down his bike before. Also, it's embarrassing no way around it. Yep. I mean, you sit there, you turn red, everyone's laughing at you, and pick it up and go. I need a good jacket so you don't get road rage.
Yeah, I'll be right.
Let's see. J. Paul Hendricks. Hey, J. Paul, how you doing? Jeremy's laughing at you now because he realized you laid down a scooter.
Go ahead. I'm glad I'm here. They get hit by a car or something on the ground.
Let's see. Who else we got here? Gregory. In reality, does schema result in increased traffic? Is it worth the time? Two thoughts on schema. Ah, geez. You're asking me about schema, and I put out a course on schema. So, Gregory, it's an interesting question. So, um, does schema in and of itself increase website traffic? No, it does not. Schema increases the relevancy of your page, which increases the rankings of or keywords that Google decides that are related to that relevancy. And then those rankings may or may not increase traffic. So there is a funnel, if there were, to get from schema to traffic. But every instance that I have applied schema in one way, form, or another, mainly in the way that I teach it, obviously, duh. You get increased rankings via increased relevancy on the page. So, with that being said, I have also tested all the plugins. So Yoast, Rank Math, SEO Press Pro, Project Supremacy, and 99% of those plugins are actually using the base schema that the Google developer stuff the Google developer documentation says that you need to do. And because 99% of the people that are using those are all using the same level of schema written out the same way, there's actually zero result in the increase of rankings or traffic from it. You do have to expand that schema. You do have to think about the same stuff that you're thinking about when you're writing content, entities and related keywords and that kind of stuff, and apply that to your schema. And there also needs to be a hierarchy. And when I say that, you need your schema should say not only tell you what or tell Google what that page is about, but it should say this page is part of this website, and this website is written by this person. You're establishing anyone who is working and talking about establishing definitely should be worried about creating a hierarchy in their schema. So you can say this web page published by this, that's on this website, this published by this organization that offers, has a part that is an article that offers this product, and here's this review, and here's where you can get it. All of that stuff needs to be taken into consideration in regards to schema. Especially if you think that Google is reading and doing sentiment analysis and keyword analysis and topic clustering. If Google is smart enough to play those, if the algorithm is smart enough to identify that stuff in your content and formulate and determine what your page is about based off of the LSI keywords, or TF, IDF keywords, if you want to use whatever term you choose to use, and the combination of the entities in there. If you can take all those pieces from your words, imagine how much less of work that Google would have to do to determine what your page is about if you've taken care of all that in the schema. So that's how I do that. Let's see. Christoph has one, so I'm gonna skip Dean's just for a second. Christoph 77, glad you're back. Thank you. The problem I had with custom schema was scaling. It was almost impossible to implement unless you had a dev that understood what you want to do and auto generate. The key there is the dev, especially if you want to scale. A good dev is necessary, and even with a good dev, scaling it is still limited in so much as the exact stuff for the page. And when I say stuff, I'm really talking about the entity analysis and entering that into your schema as well. That's the only part I have not been able to find a dev that can actually implement that, because it's pulling in from multiple sources. So like topical relevance, for example, uses, I believe they use the Google NLP API, and they use TextRaiser, which is kind of redundant because TextRaiser uses the Google NLP API. So there is that part. So what I like to do is I don't do advanced schema across the website. So I always go and find I'll look and say 4 through pages 4 that are ranking 4 through 10, for example. I can knock those up higher. Let me go to the advanced schema for those. And you just kind of work through that list, and eventually you're going to get all the advanced schema done. But there's no sense in doing it for terms that the on page needs work, or you need some more backlinks, that kind of stuff. There's no sense in doing that when you know for a fact you need something else being done. And mainly it's the on-page stuff. If the rest of your on-page isn't locked down, then don't even mess with schema yet. So that's how I handle those large sites. And it's just smarter that way. It's smarter use of time, because writing, let's say custom schema. A lot of people look at custom schema and they're like, "Oh, your custom schema has 300 lines, but I need image schema." So they write like 30 lines for image schema. They have a video, so they write 10, 15, 20 lines for video schema. Then they have a web page. Most people listen to John Mueller and don't even bother with web page. They have the website. Most people listen to John Mueller and don't do the website. So now then you have organization. You have the service or product schema, one or the other. And then they throw all of those individual pieces on there because they're easier to make. But they forget to tie those together in a hierarchy, for one. And then two, if you add up all of those things that they did and you put it line by line, code to code next to what everyone calls custom schema, you're writing the same exact schema. Uh, um, but the way that I teach people to do it is actually, I would argue, is useful versus writing schema to write schema. Or writing schema in a discombobulated way. So if you put it in a structure, math-like structure, right? So 2 + 2 = 4. There's structure to that. And regardless if you write it horizontally or vertically, there's a structure. And you think about that in schema, if you have it all thrown about and willy-nilly versus structured, the structure is going to win the game of which one is better. So if you're trying to scale that, don't, unless you have a dev that's going to do it for you. Think about it in a better perspective, of which ones you are going to get done. How's that make? Hopefully that helps. All right, Dean, do you think SEO is way more saturated these days? Nope. The SEO, as the new numbers, $700 billion a year that people are spending in marketing spend on search engine optimization. There's plenty of space in the SEO world for us. What I think is causing that saturated appearance is that a lot of I don't know how you say this politically correct without sounding like a complete racist, but if you're in a third world country and your idea of SEO is $49 services, which for a third world country, let's be honest, 49 to 249 is banking. And they hit God and everybody with cold emails and stuff because that stuff works, and it makes it appear like we're actually saturated. But if you think about it from a realistic perspective, maybe every major town or city has 30, 40, 50 really good SEOs that can actually get results. Your competition level actually is significantly less than what it is. So, yeah, I don't think SEO is saturated. I think that it's actually underserved by quality SEOs, and there's just a lot of shitballs and scammers that you've got to get through to get to clients, and then you got to get those clients have to understand the value of SEO. And you could tell that they don't if they're the ones that are taking or trying to cheap you down. A good SEO campaign is going to cost you at least $1,500 in local, regardless of the niche. It's going to be at least $1,500. And if you have people that are shaking away from that, they don't understand the value of SEO yet. Let them go work with those cheap guys that are probably not going to get them results anyway, until they start learning the value of SEO and getting a taste of that. And then they'll actually come back to you with higher spends because they know, one, that you can get them a return on their investment, and two, that it's actually worth it. Let's see, Jeremy, can you speak a little around what you guys are talking about Fight Club, the theory that Google turned off PageRank around September 9th, leave possibly as a Google as money grab, still a working theory. I think I don't know that I don't know they turned off page rank. I think what you're probably referencing, Jeremy, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the volatility in certain markets. Garage door, for instance, the volatility that was seen in the search rankings. Is that what you're referring to? Um, and it kind of plays into my theory. Like there's a lot of people now who all of a sudden there's a theory. They have this theory now and claiming that Google is manipulating the Q4 around Black Friday. I've been saying it for 3 years, and now there's people running around acting like it's some kind of new fucking discovery, but it's not. Google has been doing it for the last 3 years. Now with this latest spam update, if you think about the history of things, how things went, you had the helpful content update, which everyone, I've only seen one SEO have the balls to claim that they had a site that was hit by it, or they've seen sites hit by it. And then you had a couple product review updates, and then you had the spam update, this last one. And the spam update is really where people were noticing sites that were getting hit. And a couple of the examples were like auto-generated content sites, like those sites that were built around the people also ask. And what the problem with that spam update in particular that people also ask is were they ranking for PAA questions? And then their rank tracker said that they were getting this ranking because they showed up in that PAA list. And then Google changed the presentation, and there's been plenty of reports and analysis of the search results that a lot of those PAAs are going away. Now, I still see them, but I don't use Google as much in regards to PAAs. Like I have banner blindness to PAAs because I've never gotten used to reading those. Because one, I think that they're wrong most of the time, and two, it's kind of like I'm not going to support featured snippets, and I'm not going to support all those things because all they're doing is ripping off content from webmasters and then using it to keep you on Google. And then somehow that's okay, right? So that's my own personal use of PAs and all that stuff. So, but people are saying that's those are showing up less in the search results. So did the spam update really do anything, or was it an update that changed the way the HTML for the SERPs, and then ergo stuff started bouncing around? So in the Fight Club, they were showing volatility reports where URLs were showing up in like 50%, etc. The volatility tool doesn't go to the search results anymore. It uses the Google API. So if that API doesn't it returns inconsistencies that are supposed to reflect what's going on in the search results, then you're going to see that with the volatility tool. It's an awesome tool, by the way. As a matter of fact, let's run one. I'm going to change my settings because I don't want you guys seeing everything I'm working on here. Give me a keyword. You guys give me a keyword. Keyword. I got to show you my whole screen. This opens up. I think one of them was like garage doors, right? So there's one. Let's see, garage door. What is it? Garage door repair. And I'll set it for Sarasota, Florida. And I'll run it. Let's just run it 10 times. Typically, I only run it 5, but I want to see the variance. So there's one of their keywords. Another one we can do is locksmith. We'll run that one next. So there's a volatility that's inherent, and Ted and Lee were showing that um what was kind of justifying their theories on Google screwing with the search results. So, um, as have been saying this whole time, is it for like 3 years now, what happens on Black Friday is they'll release an update on or around Black Friday, typically November, mid-November, early December, and they hit Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the primary shopping season for small businesses, especially in the holidays. And they pretend like they're updating and creating their algorithm, which weird to me is they would do it around the premier shopping season. So when I first came up with this conclusion, I was like, why would they release this during the premier shopping season? The small businesses are working hard, and they're trying to rank for their products during this premier shopping season. And then what happens during the update is all this stuff gets shuffled around, and hold on, let me do one more. Let's go locksmith, Sarasota. Um, what happens during this update is all the small businesses and little e-commerce stores that were, busting their ass and doing the right things and getting pre-positioned for the holidays, they get shot down. And then all these authority sites, the Amazons, Home Depots, the big box stores all get shoved up. And my theory was that the big box stores, I mean, they pay for PPC stuff, but their impact on Google's bottom line is marginal at best. It's the small businesses or the small agencies that are primarily revenue boosters. So if you switch the algorithm by updating the algorithm and doing a spam update during the primary retail season for small businesses, what are they going to do? Um, Either A, they're going to just throw their hands up and surrender, or B, they're going to go and buy ads. And that in the fourth quarter does really good for Google. After the primary season is over, or the shopping spend trends or go down, Google releases another update that fixes or adjust from the previous update. And then you see all those local businesses start popping back into the search results. And there's some really cool, unfortunately, I didn't document them, but there were some really cool examples of where you can see this, where especially in local, where all the directories pushed out every local business down into page 2, and you can watch these CTR trends as more people started migrating to page 2 to find real local businesses, and Google adapted by bringing back those local businesses back into the search results. So in a couple of the examples that Ted and Leeds showed, these numbers here, like you can see, this is 100%, showing 100% for the 10 searches. In their examples, it was like 50%, and that was during the prime of the update, and I think probably just after. And the rankings always do that during those updates, and it's not because it's propagating out. What's happening is that Google is reprocessing all the search queries, and it's building it's processing it, and it's applying the new update. So the new update gets rolled out instantly, and then it takes 2 weeks on average for everyone to do their searches, and all that stuff gets processed, and then the search results start looking the same, looking steady. And you can see that's pretty much consistently what's happening now. So in the example that they showed, this 50%, that was like all up here. The same with here. You see some of these are popping in and out, but for the most part, it's pretty much locked in now. If we came back after the November update, and if we did this on products and e-com, typical Christmas stuff, we could probably come back and see examples again of where this is all bouncing around, and we can see examples where the big box stores will take over in some of these types of searches. Not necessarily these, but a lot of these types of searches, etc. And you can definitely see that Google is doing it on purpose. So that's kind of the long-winded answer to what Jeremy was asking. Yeah, Ted's theory. Yeah, it was Ted's theory. It was not. They're parroting my theory. They're just finally catching on. They're slow. Ted was slow. Let's see. Dean Davis, you're awesome. I am. Thank you. just screwing with you. Thank you. Let's see. Duke. If you have an English site translated into another language with the rel canonical set from the from the foreign language to the English page, do backlinks to the foreign language page help the English page? They could. There was plenty of testing and examples of where that canonical actually was passing, and Google says that that's how they're using it, but I would certainly test that out. But in that setup, I would actually be more reliant on hreflang versus canonical. So set that up in that regards, and test your current setup with the rel canonical, and then do another set of pages that are, you get English and France and French, for example, and Spanish. So you have an English version, French version, and Spanish version, and test one set with canonicals and test another one with hreflang, and see if building links to the foreign pages boosts the ranking of your English page. And that will tell you which way which is right to go. I'm pretty sure, though, the standard practice is not to use the rel canonical when you're also dictating with the hreflang, because you want to rank in all three of those search engines. You don't want to just rank in English, right? I'm assuming that's why you're creating those foreign language pages. So, and if you are forcing all the link juice to the English page, you're kind of kicking yourself in the balls in regards to the foreign language stuff. So I would test both versions, see which one works best for you, and then look at your priorities in regards, should you be using rel canonical at all? Let's see. Oh, and yeah, you have that as well. Cool. Perfect. Do you think it's important to have about us page, policy, and other EAT pages? I do, because if you read the search quality guidelines, and I read this, and if you're in SIA, you actually got the copy with all my little squibbly notes in it. There's like 4 paragraphs tops that cover EAT. And when you're thinking about it from an engineering perspective, like I have to write code to solve this problem. Writing code to identify and find the contact us page, the about us page, the privacy policy page, the terms of service page. That's all pretty easy stuff. So, and then when you think about expertise and authority and trust in their definitions, how do you establish that? So you have this about page that says who you are as the business owner, or the author, or the business in itself. You're establishing who you are, and then backlinks to the about page or backlinks to your content that say, with relevant anchor text that also say who you are. Now you're in regards to your knowledge of this topic, for example, schema, for example. All right. So I have whatranks.com. There's an about page that talks about me, and then I'm get backlinks related to schema. So these third party people are saying, hey, this is a trusted resource on schema. Thus, and the more I get, it's increasing my level of expertise, authority, and trust. Right. So I've met the on-page requirements or on-site requirements by having the about page, my contact us, my terms of service, privacy policy. I've met those requirements. And then my off-page requirements are third-party votes saying this guy is a expert in SEO or an expert in schema or whatever. And those backlinks are now building my expertise, authority, and trust. That's how I think EAT works. And anyone that's actually read this quality rater guidelines can is going to have to really support their 30-page article and what you need to do to establish EAT, because it's not in the quality rater guidelines where that concept came from. And when you look through what they're making the manual quality reviewers do, in short, what I just explained to you, they go look and find your about page, your contact us page, and then they go look at sources that are citing you as a subject matter expert to determine your expertise, authority, and trust scores under the manual thing. That's what they're doing, and that's what you would teach an algorithm to do. Let's see. Greggy, can cows swim? They can. That's how the Cowboys got them across the rivers. Duh. Let's see. With EAT, is there any value to having profile pages on a site is not worth the effort? I would think about um, two reasons that profile pages. One is for backlinks, right? And then two is if you're talking about on-site, it would be for author validation. So, and if it's a single author website, you're probably going to have like an about page is going to talk about you, and then you'd be done. So you really don't need an author website at that point, right? Because it's your website. But if you're on a multi-author website and you want to establish that everyone's an expert, one of the ways to do that, especially if they're on like different topics, like let's say I had a digital leader and I had one person writing about SEO, in on-page SEO, I had one person writing about link building, and I had one person writing about schema, and I had one person writing about technical SEO. I would want to have the 4 profile pages outlining their expertise in that specific area. And then it would list the articles that they wrote. But I would go one step further, especially if I'm just trying to establish they are. I would say I would create like mediums and pages on LinkedIn talking about those topics, linking back to that author page, and then I would link them on the author pages, just kind of locking that in. That's beginning, just beginning, and you're building that. Either you're building that person's brand or you're building an avatar that you're writing under, what is that, persona that you're writing under, and that's kind of how you could knock that out pretty quick. And you can see that. Like, let me share the screen again. You can tell if you're doing a good job if you go to google.com, right? And let's say Clint Butler SEO. I got to do Clint Butler SEO because Clint Butler is an actor, right? So look, Clint Butler actor. I mean, he's actively trying to rank the IMDb and getting money and stuff like that. And I was taking over this, but he's got an SEO and they're actually doing some work and stuff. So I don't think with this too much because I mean, I'm not a starving actor trying to make a living, right? So, um, but you can come in here and you see this entities list. So he's an actor. You saw that. Beard and producer. There's a Clint Butler that got arrested somewhere. I think yeah, this one here, he got arrested somewhere, so that pops up. This is what this guy is known for. But if you're trying to manipulate your stuff, you can see how easy it is. There's some third party, there's Digital Ear, Rocks Digital, YouTube, but here's the entities that your name, or in this case, my name is associated with: marketing, ranking, SEO ranking, SEO tips, and schema. For a while there, schema and the schema stuff was all up in here because that's what I was writing about, and I was doing a bunch of videos on YouTube about schema. I was doing presentations about schema, and I got links that reference me in my schema presentation. And then all of this stuff changed to be heavy schema. So if you want to know how your brand is doing and if it's on target, come in here, search for your brand name and switch to images and look at the entities that are associated with you. And now, and once you've got that locked down and you're a plumber and it has a whole bunch of plumber stuff up here, for example, you know that you're doing the right thing in regards to expertise, authority, and trust. Because if it was you're a plumber and it said like weird crap, you have some heat issues still that you gotta handle. Okay. And you can again, it's here's YouTube. This is someone else's YouTube show, someone else's website of a conference I spoke at. This is someone else's YouTube show, someone. I don't know if that's my patch. Nope, that's Terry Powers' patch. Yeah, so that's someone else's patch, someone else's show, right? So they all these links mentioned me, and then it formulated this topic that I am a recognized under expertise, authority, and trust. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Bradley. So hopefully that all of that rambling and stuff has actually provided some use to you guys. Killing it. I wanted to show a plugin that I found. Let me pin it. This is pretty cool. There's actually a couple that I want to show you. And I'll do text mode. All right. And then we'll go dark because SIA members, they get the AMA part. Let's see. SEO video show in the house. What's up? All right. So there's a lot of AI stuff and talking about AI and all that madness. And one of those is rewriting articles, which I think is pretty cool. You don't want to, if you don't want to start off from scratch. So let's go. We're just going to look at one, and I'm going to do SEO factors. We'll talk to the Ompid Monster. This plugin will kind of facilitate you if you want to, if you're creating, I don't know, like this is the #1 page's ranking. So why not look at what they did and recreate it and write it better? That's old Brian Dean trick, right? He taught that in his stuff, and he did that for backlinko. So if it works, then why not do it? So you can get this this extension. It's called text mode. Here's the page, text mode, and turn it on. Boom, and it got rid of all the junk and the colors and all that stuff, and you can come in here or have a VA come in here and grab all this stuff and then drop it into your favorite rewriter, or as a here's an outline. You can do all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool with that. Okay. Or let's say that you're really um, you just want to use this one page. So I just copy that page. I'll open it up in my version. See, the URL is different. This is on my file. And then I can actually edit this if I wanted to and use it straight like that. And give them, say I got an HTML guy, and give them this whole thing with the styling and all this stuff and say, hey, I want to do this. There's some other things that I could do with this if I, wanted to be a douche. I could go in and rip out all these comments because I don't need all that stuff. Rip out all these ads, rip this all out, rip those all out, keep the content in there, and then put that on a PBN, and then build a backlink from this piece of content to my piece of content, and then go inside of the code here and set the canonical. It should already be set if they're smart. Yep, it's already set to the proper thing. So the canonical copy that I did, that I stripped out and I put up on like a domain, and I just got Google to crawl it. Didn't want them to index it because I don't know. I want the passive, the juice of the canonical. You could try that. I'm not saying that works or not. It used to work, but you can try that out and see if you get a ranking boost. There's plenty of legitimate reasons for doing what I just did, but the extension to knock that out is called signal file. Single file. This is the GitHub, but here's the Chrome page too, so you can go in there and find it too. Single file. And it pulls everything. Like if you ever tried to copy a page and it did, and you got the CS, and it didn't work right because you had the CSS and all that stuff, and that checked it all out. So another use for that, and the primary reason I wanted to show that to you is, I think I closed it. Is affiliate stuff. So let's say you're an affiliate offer or whatever, right? And you guys can steal my account name if you want to and go do affiliate products later. Come in here, go to the marketplace, pick a product, whatever floats your boat, whatever you want. And then we want to promote. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to create the hop link. I'm going to copy the hop link. Then I want to open that hop link up. And you got to make sure that your affiliate ID is still there, right? And you want to find the buy links. So there's the add to carts, right? And in this case, you would get all three, but I'm just going to get one. I'm going to click it. And this is the cart. The new cart's open. So you want to scroll down and you want to make sure that your affiliate ID is showing. Okay. So now you want to keep this URL, the affiliate ID URL. Okay. And then I got to go back. Now I want to use simple file. I'm going to download this page. Okay. Now I know that this page works. I know that it's been tested. I know because I'm looking at all of the data right here that the offer works, etc. But I'm an SEO affiliate. I'm not I don't have an email list and all that madness. So I want to rank this page for, I don't know, let's pick a word that's actually realistic. The root cause of belly fat. There you go. That's a word, right? The root cause of belly fat. So we can rank this page for the root cause of belly fat. So what I'll do is I'll open that URL. I'll rip out the menus because this is going to go on my affiliate site. So I'll rip that out. I'm going to keep all of this stuff. Good content, good content, good content. I'm going to go in and I'm going to replace the URLs with a light box. And so when you click on this, it's going to actually, in my use, it will actually open up a form and make you sign up to my email list. And then it will redirect you to the appropriate cart URL that we saved when we verified it. And what that does is you can now rank this page from an SEO perspective. You build an email list in this health and wellness niche, and you send off and get the affiliate stuff. So you've done all that work, at least at the minimum. If you got to click here, you're going to get an email address. So you get to save that. And so if and when, whether or not they buy, you have one more subscriber, and now you can go back in the ClickBank and find other health and wellness market products to send to that same email list. So you've leveraged their work in marketing, you leverage your knowledge in SEO, and you're building a continual list, and you don't have to recapture that customer that's on your list now, and you can go back and offer more things. Okay, that's what you can do with a thing like, oh, I pushed that button again. Oops. That's what you can do with Simple File. So think beyond, I'm going to copy people's websites, I'm going to rank your stuff. Think smarter. And you can use tools like that legitimately. They're affiliate offers. All you're doing is ranking their products. You're not going in and screwing up their brand and screwing up their sales letters. And it's all tested, and you can rank it with some hidden content in the background, in the code, and make money. And everyone's happy because you're not being a douche. They're not being a douche. You're representing their brand well, and you're probably doing something that no one else did. And you're getting really good, high converting traffic to their offer, and you're also building your list at the same time. It's a win-win-win for everybody. So there you go. Simple File and texts. Forget the name of the other one. What is it? Text Mode. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. And with that, thank you all for watching SEO this week. If you're a member of SIA, stick around. You know, I hang out with you guys, answer any of your questions in the private, so the entire world doesn't know what you're doing.